beach town where all the rich people live. And you have to use your left hand. I guess, should we walk over to the beach? Yeah. Going to the beach. We're going to the beach. My finger under the lens, like that, and then I do this. It's different. Wonder where this water comes from. that was a nice day on the beach. I haven't been to the beach in a long time. Hopefully these come out. We'll see. Hey guys, so that was a fun day on the beach. I hadn't been to the beach in a long time, but let's talk about the Exakta VX1000. I got this from Mike Ekman. He lent it to me, and if you've been watching my channel, you know he lends me a lot of cameras from his collection. The reason he lent me this one was because I've mentioned in the past to him that I fell in love with the way it looked ever since I saw it in the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rear Window with Jimmy Stewart, but I had always wanted to try one, so Mike sent me one to try out. He picked the VX1000, he said, because it is one that is a little more reliable and I think it's the most modern version in the series. I think there were 8 in the series, and he said this one was working the best out of all the ones he had. So let's talk about the camera. So it was made in 1966 in Dresden, Germany, up until 1970, and it is a left-hander's camera. So it's made for left-handers like me. I thought this would be interesting to see if I feel more comfortable using this camera. It is very interesting the way you have to hold it. You have to put your middle finger propping up the lens while your index finger holds the shutter button, and then when you're done, you advance with your left hand and you focus with your right. And I have to admit, at first, a lot of times I would go to do this, but quickly I got used to it, and I even started to do this with my other cameras after a while. So it was a nice change. So the speed dial right here is for the large shutter speeds from 1/1000th of a second to 1/30th of a second. And then over here, a multi-function wheel that serves as a self-timer and as your slow shutter speed dial, as well as within there is your reminder of what speed your film is that you have loaded. And then over here you have to manually reset your film counter, which I admit I forgot to do many times. You can see it's also modular. You can switch out the viewfinder, you can put in a waist level finder, and also the lenses that are compatible with the Exacta are some really nice Carl Zeiss lenses, like this one I have on here. This is Mike's lens. It is a pan color 50mm f2 Carl Zeiss Jenna lens, which is very nice. All the Zeiss lenses obviously are really well made. Exacta never made its own lens line to go with its cameras, but it did make it so it would be compatible with these, which is a really nice feature. And as you can see, the body has a unique shape to it, I'm guessing for the hands to hold easily. And down here is again a reminder for what kind of film you have, black and white, color, and so on. This is the rewind knob. Also interesting, inside this camera has a film cutter knife. So you pull down and cut the film. So that's in there if you want to change your roll of film mid-roll, or if you are in a rush and you need to hurry up and develop the pictures you took at a wedding or something. You can cut the film where it's at, go in a dark room or in your changing bag, as I did. I tried it out, and remove the film, put it straight into your developing tank in a dark, light, tight changing bag, and develop that portion of your film, which I did. I thought that was a cool feature. I personally would never use that feature because I'm not a professional photographer on a time crunch. So how do I feel about the camera? So I'd have to say it is obviously a very beautiful, fully mechanical camera. I don't know if I'd recommend it as an everyday shooter. I definitely think if you're a camera collector, this is definitely one you should get. When I took the camera to the beach and was just taking regular snapshots, I had a good time with it. It wasn't difficult to use. It did take a little while to get used to it, and you definitely have to read the manual all the way through if you're going to shoot with one of these cameras. I think it is the most unique and intricate camera I have ever experienced. Now, one issue I had with the camera is trying to take still life photos using this multi-function wheel. So I set it on a tripod, and I know you can change the crown here with a screwdriver to suit a shorter plunge cable release, and I have a pretty long one. I didn't think it would be an issue, but for some reason only every other picture seemed to work. Sometimes when I'd press the cable release, only sometimes would it take the picture, even though it was clearly pushing the shutter button back here. It was clearly pushing it down. I'm not sure what I was doing wrong. I'm sure it was user error because there was so many things I had to remember in each step. So in order to use the lower shutter speeds, you can't just wind it or else it'll unwind automatically. You have to make sure you cock the shutter first, then wind it all the way, look for the mark, and then turn it to your speed, which is these small numbers, and then not until then it takes the quick shot, and then after that you have to let it unwind before you can do your next exposure. So it is a little bit to get used to, and you do really have to slow down and think about what you're doing, and I tend to get flustered and tired and I'm in pain and I just want to sit down. So I did get a bit frustrated with that. So that was my one bad experience with the camera, but other than that I am extremely thankful to Mike to letting me finally get to hold an Exacta and try one out and shoot with it for a while. I definitely had a good time using it. It was definitely challenging, which is not something I can always say about these cameras that I test out and review. Is it the left-hander's dream? I don't know about that. If you're left-handed, let me know in the comments. If it bothers you shooting with everything being on the right hand, it never bothered me. I'm not sure why that is. It might be because the only thing I do left-handed is right. I don't do anything else left-handed. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. Is that something you would like, to have everything on your left hand? Once I did get used to using my left hand, I did notice that I was starting to do it with all my other cameras too. So it was a nice feature, but it wasn't something that I'm dreaming about, you know. It wasn't something like, oh, this solves all my camera needs. I'm also not exactly sure why Exacta made their cameras left-handed. Maybe somebody can let me know. I didn't find anything about that in my research. Let me know if you know the answer to that. So in the end, this is probably one of the most beautiful and frustrating, intricate cameras that I have ever used, and I am so grateful to Mike for letting me try it out. I hope you guys will pick one up. They're not expensive. Give it a try. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. And of course, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to my videos, because I do have a lot more to come. I do have a couple zines coming out that I'm waiting for in the mail to give the final okay on before I put them up for sale. So I hope you guys will subscribe so that you know when that's going to come out, and also be sure to go check out my website for more reviews and more articles that I don't put up on my YouTube channel. And as always, stay motivated and keep shooting.